Welcome, welcome to the bench here at Mike's Mods and Customs. So today we're going to be working on something just a little bit different. We have a die casting. We're going to do some minor work too to get our feet back into doing some die cast work. And we have here a nice big old cup of Joe to get us going here. This is a gift that was given to me several years ago from a good friend of mine who unfortunately had just recently passed away. So we're going to have a nice big old cup of Joe at the bench here with us in honor of our friend Crystal. And let's get you closer to the bench over here and see what we got going on. All right, so welcome back over to the bench. So today we're going to be working on this little guy here. So I've continued to look at these almost every time I go into the store, and I've seen a couple people do some customs with these. So I figured, what the heck, why not? I want to try something just a little bit different with some paint, and I figured why not do something with this this K5 Blazer here. So I'm just going to get this thing cracked open, and we're going to start getting it drilled apart. This is the product that we're going to be using in this video to get some of that color on there. We'll see what happens. So hang in there with me. I'm going to get this baby open and start drilling. All right, so I got you in a little bit closer here. We got that apart. That was a little interesting. This back half of this went over the mount, which is kind of interesting, so you don't have the mount going right straight up through the back window. So anyways, real quick look at this. This is going to go in the stripper and get cleaned off. I wasn't going to do a complete color change on this. I was just going to try to do certain spots, but seeing that it's all red up underneath and I'm not going to have any red at all, this is going to have to go in the stripper. So we'll get that into the stripper, and we're going to do a wheel swap. I'm not going to do anything with the windows. I'm just going to keep that black like that because there's no interior. But these wheels aren't going to stay. I have these ones here from Greenlight, and I think I'm going to use these guys. Some Real Riders, wider, white letter tires. So I think I'll get those mounted on there. Those will look nice. May have to play with the stance a little bit because they're a little bit bigger in diameter. No, not really. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things into the stripper, get those things ready to go, and I'll be back with you when that thing's ready for some paint.
All right, so here we are. We're back. We got this unit out of the stripper, and holy cow! For what's supposed to be a lesser expensive and cheaper casting, the paint on this sucker just did not want to come off. So I got to go after it with this wire wheel, get it out of the door line, the panel lines, and get it cleaned up a little bit more, and then we'll look for some casting lines and things of that nature. So yeah, hang out with me here just a quick minute, and I'll hit this baby with the wire wheel. Alright, we got that all cleaned up with the wire wheel there pretty good. Got into the seam lines, and now we're going to start with our Brillo pads here that we have. This is the yellow one, which I do believe is, if I'm correct, is the 80 grit. So we're going to start with that one as the higher grit, and then we're going to work our way on up to the finer grits and get this baby all cleaned up. Alright, so there we have it. Pretty happy with that. I got this K5 Blazer looking pretty good, nice and clean. Next step is going to be some degreaser and a little scrubber dub in the bath. But before I do that, I'm gonna grab my pick and just go over all these panel lines around the door and the cap, and make sure that those are all cleaned out. I see some paint residue still in there, so I'm gonna go through those with my pick. I see a spot right here in the window. I may hit that with the file and get that cleaned up. But we're gonna be working our way towards getting this baby into primer. Alright, so here we have it. We got the casting all prepped and cleaned up and ready for primer. I had just gone ahead and did a dry fit with all of the base and the new wheels to make sure that everything is going to fit in there nice and snug, so I don't have to do any kind of modifications to the wheel wells. And I got it set up back up there on the helping hands, and now it is time to hit the spray booth and get some primer on this thing.
Alright, so here we are at the spray booth. I decided to save you the aggravation of listening to the rattle in the paint can and or the fan from the exhaust. And what we're doing here is just the real first coat, that mist coat that we always put on first. The base is a metal prep primer that I spray on there on top of the diecast. It's a product that we get from Mr. Hobby. It's metal, bare metal primer is really what it is. And then I put this Tamiya primer over that. So there's my first mist coat. So we'll let that sit for just a few minutes. And then now we're back for the second coat. This is going to be much heavier. So notice I'm spraying a lot slower. So this will be the main primer coat. And I'm pretty sure probably the only primer coat that I'll put on this one. The end results came out pretty good. So we will now let this thing sit and cure for a little bit. And then we got to get to thinking about what my main body color is going to be. So that'll be up next. Hang in there with me.
Alright, so here we are back out of the paint booth from the primer, and it applied quite well. The casting is looking to be in really good shape, so our next coat of paint is going to be this TS14 gloss black from Tamiya. I'm going to gloss black out the whole thing. And then we're going to come back and go over it with our paint pigments. I tried to show you this in an earlier clip, but I didn't quite see it all that great. So there it is. This is the stuff that we're going to be using. Armored Komodo. Cobalt blue is the color. Let me just give you an idea, show you what this looks like. It's an awesome metallic-y pigment. So we're going to get this thing painted up in gloss black, and then tape off some areas and come back and apply those pigments and see how it looks. So back to the paint booth for some gloss black. Alright, here we are. We are back from the paint booth, and we got the gloss black all taken care of for sure. So it's already got a coat of clear on there, and it's been sitting for a few days. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself set up with some tape here, and we're going to start with taping off some lines. I want to put that stripe down the center here on the side. And I might want to do something with the cap. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so here we are. This thing's coming along pretty nicely. So I had said earlier that I wasn't sure if I was going to do something with the roof. Well, here's a little sneak peek at something I did to the roof. So I have my stripe here taped off. Okay, we are ready. So this brush is not as hard to foam as I was expecting. So we'll see what happens here. Put down a paper towel because this can tend to be very messy. So we're just going to dabble with this on the tailgate here, and well, let's see what happens. I did it once on my test model already. So we'll see. I'm not going to go super heavy with it. I think that's it. I'm just going to keep it like that. Let's see if I, yeah, knock off any loose, and we'll come across the side. Let's stick with what's on the brush still and see how it applies. Oh yeah, that's cool. Alright, I'm going to finish this up. Probably hit it with a little bit of clear before I peel that tape off. And I'll let you know, let you guys see the other side. That's going to be really cool. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so here we are with a real quick look back at what we started with. The Adventure Force K5 Blazer. Let's get to the final reveal. Alright, so here we are with the final reveal. Let's get our final look at this Adventure Force Chevy K5 Blazer. Here it is. So, stripped it down, painted it black, gave the cap a silver treatment, did a wheel swap with some green light wheels, And then we did that pigment powder on the blue stripe there. It came out really cool. Then we also have some front headlight directional details. The Chevy bow tie. And again, continued along the back. And I think I just put my fingers in the wet paint in the back, of course. But there's the taillights. No harm done. So, we get this thing over on a turntable, let you get a closer look at it. I think it came out really cool.
And thanks for joining me here for another episode here at Mike's Mods and Customs. If you really like what you see here, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and maybe even share it along to a couple of friends of yours. Once again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next one.